Hello, everybody. You are listening to Tales from Tomorrow, our weekly Fallout TTRPG series that we live stream over on Twitch and we publish over to YouTube. My name is Kyle, and I will be your overseer this evening as we catch up with our players, where last week they were caught in an ambush by the Mothman cultists. We very left off at the tail end of the episode, where Mac Raven's character Raven had come eye to eye with a red-eyed Mothman standing outside of a collapsing barn, a barn that was set ablaze by the other cultists throwing Molotov cocktails. And in the basement of the building that the Mothman cultists were occupying was Sam, along with super mutant Chop and Ruben, one of the settlers they met in northwestern Appalachia. They had a bit of a skirmish in the basement. Chop, with Sam's helpful kick, had popped the head off of a Mothman cultist there. Sam learned some important news that it might not be him that the cultists were after all, but maybe to isolate another party member. And that is where we're going to pick up in tonight's episode. So greetings to all of our players. You guys are feel free when I introduce you to chime in on any of your favorite parts of that or things you're excited to explore tonight. We have Sky playing Sam. Sam, what did you think of, or what did you think, Sky, of Sam's last experience there? That was a harrowing encounter in the basement.
I was on pins and needles. I wasn't sure if we were going to make it out there.
It seemed like it was a precarious moment when the house collapsed right behind you, really making that a bit of a poignant statement. We have DK with us tonight playing his character, Jim. Hello, DK. How's Jim feeling after his battle with the cultists, firing back and forth across the little farmyard, plucking those cultists a few times?
Well, I did have if I believe correctly, I did have an injury to my leg. So, I'm hurting in that area. But I do got to say, though, yesterday on stream, it was great to go and see the location where it happened and visualize it.
Yes, that is a good point to say that myself and DK are getting back into streaming. I don't even know if I said where we're live right now. So folks at home, if you don't know, this is twitch.tv/overseer Kyle, just in case you're catching our podcast episodes. And hey, if you're not watching in the podcast form, you should also go over and subscribe there. Spotify, we have it up on YouTube as podcasts and videos. But it's on all their favorite players from Apple Podcasts and beyond. So go check those out. And if it's somewhere, or if it's not somewhere you want it to be, let me know and I'll get it up there too. Oh, that brings us to Raven, played by Mac Raven. She had quite an episode there, led by the Mothman's guidance, figuring out where Sam was from his abduction. Raven, your vision took you into the basement, only to obscure your mobility, where you were seeing the answers you sought, but being pulled to locations you did not wish to go. And you left the last episode coming eye to eye with, as I said at the top, that red-eyed Mothman. What's Raven feeling about all this? I'll let Raven chat.
The dim one is bad.
Well, the question is, what changed you from those people? That's the question I have.
Luck.
Luck. Well, we are going to pick up tonight's episode directly outside of the burning buildings. If you're playing Fallout 76 or you want to look at pictures on the screen for yourself, I'll try and pull some up here momentarily. But this is the Aaronholt Farmstead, northwest on the map, so top left corner. Usually a very scenic farm, couple silos. What do we say? There's 2 farmhouses, 2 barns. It's a nice little spot until 2 of them were set ablaze by the cultists. So that's where we're going to dive in. We've got Sam, we've got Jim, we've got Chop, and we've got Ruben, last standing outside of the burning building. So I will pass it to you, comrades, to take it away. What are your characters thinking?
I'm thinking that we seems like we've lost Raven, and that we need to figure out what's going on. So I link up with Chop and Jim, and I ask them, have y'all seen Raven anywhere?
I've been looking and I haven't seen a thing.
She seems to have just up and disappeared. It doesn't seem like there's a trace left behind.
Well, I don't know. Do you think? I hate to say it, but do you think maybe the the rubble from the house might have Raven underneath it?
I don't know. I'd like to think she could have gotten out in time. Should we try to dig through it?
Well, I guess if it would put our minds at ease, it would probably be worth it, just to kind of like clear any unmarked boxes off.
Yeah, there also might be some stuff that wasn't completely destroyed as well.
We're going to have Raven roll a survival and endurance test. She rolls 4 successes. Now, I'm going to be a bit shy of what all that does for you folks, or what position she's coming from, but you guys get 3 action points back into your pool for that roll. Chop is circling the exterior. 2 different structures going down in flames. One being the barn that you 2 in particular are looking at. The other being the house that's burning behind you, or they're in states of collapse. And actually every moment that goes by, you hear more beams break under the stress and strain and collapse into the lower levels. Fiery planks and embers are pushed out every time. Even some local brush and shrubbery is catching ablaze. Chop mostly seems interested in the house. You can see he's doing sort of semicircles, looking around it, very stressed, very agitated. Reuben stands off to the side, looking down the road. Of course, you have a burning beacon to your location at this time. And so I think it would be best if we had Sam and Jim each roll a single combat die. And I'm going to take this into account for how much this beacon's going up. You can guess effects are going to be the very timely thing here. Not rolling effects, that's good. That's what we like to see. Keeping in mind that you have some sort of moving timetable that you can't predict. Whatever you decide to do, whether you want to search for Raven here, if you'd like to run some checks to do that, you're more than welcome. If you want to start digging through, I will warn these buildings are still ablaze. So digging through them would probably be dangerous, just to keep that in mind.
I would like to ask Chop what's on his mind. Is he looking at anything in particular?
Why don't we go ahead and have you roll a charisma test as well, just to see how far and how good you can do, just to start us out. So speech and charisma, please. With that, Chop's not, he's not hostile to you or uncommunicative, but without scoring high with charisma, he answers, "Chop on guard. I Do not trust. Cultists are dead. They are devilish creatures.
Oh, I'm inclined to agree with you, buddy. I'll turn to the group and ask them, do you want to regroup back at the cabin? We could probably be better off in a safer place. These fires are, who knows what it would attract. Maybe we regroup and try to discuss what our next move is.
That works for me.
Reuben inclines his head and kind of waves you on. I'm assuming you're going towards the cabins. Was that the direction you wanted to head, or do you want to go somewhere else? You're welcome to do either.
Yes, go back to the cabins.
Very good. You are all on your way back to the cabins. You do hear a surprising amount of rustling. The woods are uneasy, smoke billowing out of the farmstead. It's the wasteland after all. And we didn't, as a group, stop to do any more investigating of loot in those buildings. I know you guys got some loot last week out of it. Jim and Mac got some, or Raven, I should say, got some loot. Did you all want to stay and do that now? Get some loot out of there? That would have been perfectly okay. Otherwise, in game and all of that, you guys are welcome to go back later and reinvestigate when things have stopped smoldering as much. There are unburnt areas, by the way, just as a heads up too.
Yeah, we'll come back through whenever, so that we don't risk, something collapsing on us.
Perfectly good. We're going to jump briefly to Raven then next. Raven, you see darkness. It's hard to make anything out. What's in front of you, beside you, behind you. And it all feels rather cold. An odd feeling, considering what you just felt was flames, that the fire was behind you, but there was a fire in front of you too. Two red eyes staring directly at you as you were confronted with a wall of blackness, only to see that blackness was the creature's wings, much wider than you expected, much wider than you may remember, much wider than any of the pictures showed you, and its eyes were staring at you, directly through you. You could see into them, and they could see into you. You backed up into the flames, licked by the fire. But then, as you turned to face the fire, you saw something else staring back at you. Familiar to the purple eyes, or was it just the blue flame? You heard a voice. And then there was blackness. And that was different than it is now. Somehow different than it is now. Not the same, different. And you hear a voice. But this time, it sounds distant. You hear the voice of Errol. Maybe you think you hear his voice. It's hard to tell. You hear someone say, "Well, child, this is not where I would expect to find you. You've gone so far from home. Where are you now?" Where are you now, Raven? Where have the wings taken you now?
To my home.
Your home is with us. What do you call home these days? Where could possibly be home for you, traveler?
Jim and Sam.
I think they're gone. Left you for dead.
Dead.
Well, you have more work to do before you're allowed to die.
Are they dead too?
That is an answer to which you do not have the luxury to afford yourself. All in due time, I'm sure. The question is,
If they are dead, I will kill all the Dims one.
where are you going next? Is that your decision to kill all those who raised you in this world? Your family, your friends, your neighbors, your loved ones? That's what you'll do.
Yes, they have gone too far.
Then will you march there on your own and face them in their hundreds?
If I have to.
Your fate is like a beacon. It is something special to have you in this world right now when we need you most. And you go exactly where we need you to go. Well, the keys to the manor are all yours if you wish to find your home. They won't be there when you get there.
Keys.
Left where they always are. You know the stump. You'll find them waiting for you. You can have your home all to yourself. A kingdom of empty bone and empty promise.
Kingdom of Ash.
It blows in a little too frequently, if you ask me. But we'll see you if you decide to come down to Point Pleasant. Everyone is looking forward to the festivities, because this year, things are changing. It won't be like it ever was before.
Yes, I want to come.
If you survive the trials ahead, we'll see if you're worthy.
But I am trapped.
And that's where your journey begins. That's where your trial begins. Where are you, child? Where are you? And the voice tapers off into the void.
Come back.
You can roll a perception and survival check. Difficulty 5 to figure out where you are. And you can probably hit that given how adept you are, but you might want to spend some points. You have enough action points to buy at least 2 additional die, and you could always trade for more.
I will buy
Okay, you can buy those 2. I'll take the points out of your pool here.
2.
Okay. 2 dice. I'm guessing. Yeah, there we go. 4. Do you have anything that lets you re-roll any of these things? Any percent? I'm just curious. You do have luck. You could try and re-roll a point out of luck here too. How many of these succeeded? You've got a 6. Oh, so they each succeeded. Your target's 14. Oof. Wow. Well, I'll just say there is a path ahead with 4 successes. There's another path ahead with 5 successes. With that little information, you have the option. I would suggest re-rolling the 14 if you want to. You could use a single luck point for that and hope that it comes back as a crit. Not a crit. With this exceptionally high score, you begin to reach out in this dark void, cold, and you begin to lose consciousness. Your vision, which already can't see, becomes foggier. Your lungs feel tighter. It's as if you have gone from this large, pitch black void to a tight, tiny closet. And as Raven types, I'll let her complete her thought.
Jim and Sam, where are you? I need help. I don't want to die here.
And with that, your vision goes dark. And that takes us back to Jim and Sam, who are traversing back to the homestead there where you were held up with the raiders. I'm using all the wrong terms for it. I'm sorry. It's the cabins. So-and-so's cabins. As you're getting back there with Reuben, with Chop, you can see Chop is still very agitated, keeping his head on a swivel, looking around. Reuben himself, a little glassy-eyed, kind of in a different headspace from everything that happened. Sam, Jim, what's going through your minds as you get closer to the cabins? You see them upon the horizon, very close by, I should say, as you're coming up a path. Some of the smoke from the fire there, campfire earlier especially.
My mind lays heavily on where Raven is. I question, if she was still trapped in the rubble, but I seriously believe in my heart that she would have been able to escape. I have feelings based on what the Mothman cultist told me that they took her to somehow.
Interesting.
Got a lot of anxiety. I'm just like really, really, really roughed up mentally over that whole Max situation, the Raven situation.
As you all get to the little last hill, you can see into the farmstead. Marlene is getting something that looks like lunch together, and she turns and looks. She goes, "Ted, they're back. They're back. Have they got their..." "Oh, it's Reuben. It's great to see you. Where Chop and Jim and Sam, and you're missing one." Where's your friend?
We don't currently know. And all the fire and all the bullet storms, we seem to have lost her.
Lost her. Ruben comes up and just gives her a very large hug and doesn't really say too much. And as she hugs him back and is looking over at the other people in the group, one fellow member down, you see Ted comes out of the cabin. And he has his weapon slung over his shoulder. And he goes, well, I'm glad those of you who made it back did. There are dark times ahead, I fear. We headed down, scouted out the location next door, didn't see anything meaningful there. There was signs of super mutant activity. Maybe you, Chop, I don't know if you were rummaging, but large footprints we noticed. But otherwise, quiet. What's your plan for now? You all gonna get some food here? Going back out?
I've got to tend to this wound, and I kind of point to the hole on my shirt that is probably seeping out blood from when I was put on the spike.
Yeah. Ted says, well, I could help you out with that if you need it. What are we looking at? How bad is it?
I pull up that corner of my shirt and show him the nice fresh hole that I wasn't put on.
Oh, that's a hell of a wound. You're lucky if that doesn't get infected. Something fierce. You got any supplies for that, or?
Yeah, they're all here. Unfortunately, they took me without my gear. So I go and I find my satchel. And I'll get some disinfectant out and some needle and thread.
It is exactly where you left it last night before going to sleep. Your weapons and gear are fairly undisturbed here, except for your radio, which seems to have been pulled out. You're going to go ahead and do some sort of medical check or something like that. Use any stim packs. How much health are you missing, by the way, for Sam?
Not too much. I think I have 17 left, so I'm not dying.
Gotcha. Let me pull up my healing stuff again, because it's been so long. Because I forget, if you guys get a long rest, what all do we get back here from long resting? Easiest way to recover damage, though it's slow. If you can find somewhere to sleep for at least 6 hours, you gain all lost HP. It is midday, though, just as a heads up. Hi, Lou. My puppy's back there trying to get my attention. Like I said, it is midday. I think that might affect all of your decisions with that. Most of all, you also can recover food through food and drinks. Wait, did I say that? You can also recover health through food and drink. So, whatever you wish to do. I think medical attentions for healing things out of combat that's longer. Characters may require long-term medical care if they've been injured, poisoned, or suffering from a disease, which I don't think any of you have any of those. How is Jim looking as well?
I took that diluted back at the place.
Right.
So let me see. Yeah, well, no, I'm one away from full health.
Nice. I don't think any of us are probably... Well, does anyone track when they have their max HP buff from when they sleep? Do we do that as a group, or are we all too scatterbrained to do that?
I don't. I often don't.
I don't even know. I'm just being honest.
No, that's what I want. Because honestly, maybe there's something more towards like maybe we as a table function where we could use those as like a healing throughout the day. Like, because I as the GM tend to know when you guys got a full night's sleep. In this case, Sam, unfortunately, you did not, but Jim and Raven, you two did. So obviously Sam didn't because he was getting kidnapped. But for the other two, you guys could theoretically use that max HP buff as like just a flat out like a 2-point heal that could be applied. So if you guys are cool with that sort of idea, that's a thing we could do. But if we're not tracking max HP, then you guys are just getting less, which I don't care. I mean, it's fine either way. But free 2 HP heal each day.
I think that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
So, Jim, if you want to use one of those two to heal, you could, or you could save it, whatever.
Okay.
You can ask something, Sky.
I was just going to say, I myself am just going to do some wasteland surgery and then drink a purified water to get my health back.
Hell yeah. Good on ya. As you two are settling in, getting situated, you can hear through these sort of shoddy walled cabins, Ted, Marlene, and Ruben, you can hear them kind of decompressing out there. Ruben saying and explaining what he remembered, that a cultist must have grabbed him in the middle of the night. Can't even remember it happening. Doesn't remember being awoken or hit or drugged or anything like that. But that his first memories were of waking up in that basement tied to the pillar, unable to get free, unable to see what was going on with the blindfold. And they begin to decompress with him, asking how many he saw, which for him was very few. He heard the one in the basement that struggled with Sam, that was killed by Chop. But he didn't get to see anything until that moment of your release where you were able to free him in turn. But you can hear that there is a sound of worry, especially from Ted and Marlene, concerned as to what their neighborhood, for lack of a better word, has turned into sheer violence and danger, that they now feel they should leave, relocate. The Ehrenholt farmstead was only... Hold on one second, Louie, you gotta move, man. That's the wires, dude. Come on. Stop. You're gonna screw the whole stream up, baby. Okay. Doggy is literally trying to climb into the LAN cables. I hope we didn't lose you, Chad. Oh, he tried to pull them all off the desk then. You hear Marlene, Ted, and Ruben concerned that the violence is going to encroach over their cabins, that they feel like now is the time to leave, to run, to flee. And you begin to hear that rustling as if they're grabbing their gear. And Sam and Jim, it's up to you if you want to try to dissuade them from it, but this is a cabin that has only recently been repaired. You can guess from what you've seen, their roots aren't too deep here. So whatever you might want to tell them or convince them of, whether you want to give them the coordinates of hope, whether you want to tell them to go to Foundation, whether you want to tell them about the boat, whether you want to convince these people to stay and fight, that's something that's up to all of you to decide.
What are you thinking, Sam?
Do you think that maybe we go back and look for her? Or maybe maybe we go to Point Pleasant. You know, she's had the ability to, you know, find things that she doesn't necessarily have eyes on. Maybe some of the people there do as well.
I'd feel wrong if I didn't go trying to find the body.
Yeah, now that we're, you know, stitched up, maybe we go back, check it out, see if she's there.
Yeah.
And then, if she's not, we'll have to expand our dragnet.
Right.
Well, the afternoon is coming. You have time to rest now, if both or either of you wish to do so. It's actually a decent moment to catch your breath. Is there anything sort of tactically or logistically that you guys want to get done at camp, especially mechanically for your characters and the rules? Is there any extra things you need to do? I think we've sort of looted these cabin areas a bit. You know, it's their stuff, but again, they're gathering things and getting ready to leave, or at least readying that. I don't know how soon these guys would actually be able to pack up and go anywhere, but they're, at least you can gather that they're getting satchels together. Their immediate provisions that they would need. So pardon me for my moment of distraction there a minute ago. Could you refresh my memory? What did you guys decide on what you wanted to converse with the settlers here, or what your next plan is? I had a little doggy thing to take care of.
Honestly, I don't think that either of us feel like we have time for conversation while Raven is missing. So we're gonna roll back to the homestead and see if she's there.
And as you two are beginning to depart, they acknowledge you, the settlers there. They give you kind of a solemn wave and sorrowful glance that you're going off to fight something that they're not. Chop, who is outside of the camp area, does trail behind you, and with his speed quickly catches up to you two as you're leaving. Do humans need assistance? Chop will go back to look for her with you if you need Chop.
We'd appreciate that. Thank you, Chop.
Chop will follow. And we go back to Raven ever so briefly. Raven, you don't know where you are, but you hear the sound of water? Not running water. A lake of water. You see some lights. You see what you think is movement. But you're unsure. Why don't you give me a survival and perception test? Difficulty 2 for this one. I think you'll hit that. Oops. I need the other tabby here for you guys. Give you this. Can I have this? There we go. No. What? consider me the most confused man in the world as to why it's fighting me to capture the wrong window. Okay, capture this one. There we go. Get those cabins back for a minute. I just have to check something very briefly. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Okay. Raven rolled 3 on this. With that 3, your vision adjusts. Slow at first. The sound of the water, the movement seems to be reeds, foliage swaying, and it's as if a light, a greenish glow, not overbearingly green, just almost a muted, like a emanation. You can see sort of behind a wall of trees, not too dense, but enough that this light makes some of the water around you shimmer. And you're on, as you look down, a path, a wooden path. You're on what looks to be a bridge or a dock. It seems that the path forward beckons you if you wish to go. You have any options ahead of you that you wish to utilize, but the glow from the trees is calling you.
A dock I must get to Al Point Plesnet.
As you move forward, you see moths flying near the shoreline. It's not a long walk, but it's sort of hard to tell distance. And as you get to the shoreline, you see what looks like a stream that had probably emptied into this lake. And next to it, a path, like a walking path, a footpath, headed into the tree line, and you feel compelled to follow it. And as you go forward, forward, forward,
Wise one, lead me.
it feels, before you can even see it, like your prayer has been answered. You don't see with your eyes at first, but moments later, into view, you see what looks like an opening in the trees. You see the stream turning into a larger tributary, maybe from some river. It grows in size as you see a wooden structure. It looks like a house. It's hard to bring it all into focus with the fog, the darkness. It's like a combination. It's hard to exactly see everything in front of you. But with what feels like your mind, you see a porch. And as you get closer, you see what look like rocking chairs. You see that this structure, this house, this building grows out into a distance that you can't fully encompass in this weather. But in your heart, you feel like this is home. The ominous, what felt ominous at first, begins to feel familiar.
What is this? It looked like something I known.
If you would like to roll some other checks, you are absolutely welcome to do so. You are welcome to approach this structure at full speed. You're welcome to sneak. You're welcome to do anything that you usually would do in the game. You can decide your path. And I think what we'll do then is take our 10-minute break after you decide what you're going to do, if that's okay. You can adjust it when you come back, but it would be good for me to know how you wish to proceed before we go on our break.
I will sneak.
Okay, you're going to sneak. And I'm going to leave this image up on the screen for now because I don't really have a good picture for what we're looking at other than to say the building that is in front of you seems like it's built in a sense with the same material these cabins are, that it's rather loose plank walls. For those who've played 76, Mac, you know what those basic starter walls look like for the place, right? Those very just loose boards. That's sort of what you gather. Tighter packed together. There's not gaps. That's what I would draw people's minds and eyes to, is it's not like there's pieces of this place hanging apart. If anything, it gives you a sense of security as you're going towards it. It's not going to blow away in the wind. And with a nice little front porch lit up by a green, hazy glow, Mac, you are approaching a place that is very known to your people. This very well might be the lantern. So, we will leave you with that. We will take our 10-minute AFK break, and we'll see what awaits Mac and the rest of our crew on the return. 10 minutes, everybody. That's fine. We will go ahead and resume with Sam and Jim. They, when we had left off, were on their way with Chop back to the farmstead that had partially burnt to the ground. Why don't... Who's the best among you for perception and survival? You two.
I got target number 5.
Ah, nice. And Jim?
Let me see here. Perception and survival. That's the number next to it, right?
Sorry. So when... I'm not sure which number you're referring to. I apologize.
The target number.
It's a combination of your skill and your attribute.
Okay. All right.
That's when you have to roll under.
That would be, I think, 8 or 8. Yeah.
That would make you the better of the two for rolling that check. So if you want, DK, you are welcome to roll a perception and survival, and Sam can assist you as long as you score 1. I'm trying to see if Chop would have anything to...
Oh, I think mine... Hold on. I'm having reconnecting issues.
Uh-oh. I think I am too, honestly. I'm not showing anything on screen yet, chat.
All right, let's see. Where is it? Hey, here it is. Let's try it now. There we go. Oh.
Gotcha. Jim's got a 0. Chop rolled a 1. As you're getting closer to the farmstead, you, again, have kept up with Chop's head being on a swivel. Let me pull them up for a quick second here and hold. Farm. Oh, gosh, I had to put 76 at the end. Otherwise, I get, like, real farm stuff, real homesteads. I don't know. And how did I do that on my other screen? One sec. Whoop, novice dude here doesn't know what he's doing. Okay, there we go. Can we get... That's the wrong type of full screen. Boo, ugly bar at the bottom. There we go. Okay. As you're coming up upon the farmstead, you can see that what earlier you had left as a large bonfire blaze has rather quickly burnt down, resulting, actually you can see it here in this picture, that we'll say it's this barn here, this big red one, and this, I think it's, if we say it's this house next to it or the other, I think it was this house. Yeah, they have a porch or wraparound in there in the game. And those two structures have burned down. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's the other one. Sorry, hard to show in a visual like this. But the one that has a second story to the house, that one's burnt down to the ground. There is still smoldering. There is smoke coming off of these burnt piles of blackened wood. What's left, you see some items that have not completely melted in the blaze. Mostly metals and things like that, resilient. Probably a chimney still standing from the house. Chop's concern has been what's rustling in the woods. He keeps looking off to the sides as if there's something, and there notably has been. Again, this has disturbed the wasteland, all of these events. What are Sam and Jim thinking as they get up close to the area? What's your goals to do? You gonna go and just start digging through stuff? You want to scan the perimeter first? You want to go in? What are you thinking?
I think maybe we should take it a little slow and keep an eye out, because again, that was a pretty large fire and it might have brought some unwanted attention.
That's true, yeah.
Any specific directions or anything like that people want to go in? And I'm just tossing this to you two to kind of investigate as you so please. If you want to do any sneak or stealth rolls like that, you are welcome to do so, just to get a kind of a baseline of what other things would have to check against you if there are other things.
Yeah, I'll throw one out.
Sure.
Oof.
No successes. Gotcha. Unless you want to re-roll something there with luck. But
no, I'll save it.
With that 19, if anything, Sam is as best as he wishes he could kind of control his as much as he wishes he could control his emotions and be very level-headed in a moment like this, your worry about your comrade has you stepping quickly and heavily. And again, as much as you want to be tighter to the vest, more controlled, more organized, more efficient, maybe in your head, but not out loud. Is that working? And is Jim going in stealth at all, or is he... What's he doing?
Well, I'm just going in regular.
Okay. Fair enough. You got a big-ass super mutant with you, so it was either that or you leave him behind or somewhere else. With all intentions of being quiet, not so. You guys get up to the rubble, the debris, and you can see that with the metal roofing of the barn, parts of that have collapsed. There's still some structural elements sticking out, holding other pieces up, as if the second floor, it's largely collapsed, but it's not it's not just a pile of dust. There's still structural elements here, things held together loosely. And the house is in pretty bad shape. You can guess that the basement area, the cellar that Sam was held in, is probably still somewhat in good-ish condition, if not somewhat intact. Remains of the house, still parts of it are standing foundationally, but it's almost gone. Now, being so close to it is the goal. You guys are looking for loot, for Raven, for what? Give me some guidance of what you two want to do.
Raven is what I'm looking for.
Okay.
Yeah, same. And I'm wondering if there's any sort of a trail left behind. Anything that, she might have left, or even maybe some Mothman dust left behind. Whatever took her.
Well, let's go ahead and roll. You can each roll a perception and survival being here, and you guys are welcome to spend extra dice on this. I would say, I know that neither of your characters are master trackers like Raven is. So anything above a 1 will yield you something. You can always use luck points for moments like this too, where you're hopeful to find something specific. And what's the name of that? Is it on this list? Oh gosh, it's not. Boo, they don't have it on the GM board. Let's see. Oops. And the name doesn't exactly matter, but again, that is an option to you to call that in if you ever so choose to do that.
DK, if you want to take the 1 AP to add 1, it would probably be more suitable for you, since you have a higher chance.
Okay.
Luck of the Draw is the name of that.
Oh, hell yeah. That was luck for me.
Great. You both put 1 back in the pool then. Sorry, did DK spend the last point and it just wasn't removed? Is that right?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, I just spent the last one, and yeah, there you go.
Okay. Wait. Then that's right. That's right. There we go. 2 points. As both of you begin looking around this structure, Sam, Jim, between the two of you, somebody, maybe both of you, saw that winged creature fly up into the sky. Neither of you got a good glance at it, or a good view. I should say you probably at best got a glance. I don't know if you would think that Raven went with it, or if it can be tracked. But Sam, to your question you asked earlier, comment you made about Mothman dust, you see a familiar purplish reflective dusting near the back door to the barn, where that was, where you thought you saw that creature come from. You see confirmation that whatever the Mothman cultists really are or believe or any of that, this looks like the dust that you're familiar with from the boat.
I get down on a knee, and I take some between my thumb and my finger, and I kind of rub it together. And I look at Jim, and I tell him, I'm seriously thinking that she's no longer here. I'm thinking that someone or something took her out of here. They had told me, that crazed cultist in the basement told me that they were after the Chosen One. And I'm gonna probably bet all my caps that Chosen One is Raven.
That's a little bit too wacky for my mind.
Well, we're not dealing with the most level-headed people in the wasteland.
That is true. They don't seem to think logically or consciously.
We can see if there's any tracks or anything, but I'm worried about the trail running cold.
Yeah, yeah, we can look. I mean, that dust. I mean, what does that mean?
Either one of the cultists had a hole in their pouch, or maybe it was left behind by, I mean, this might sound wacky to you, but by one of the Mothmen.
Well, I think it's best we just check and then, you know, if anything, if Raven isn't here, then our best bet is to head to Point Pleasant.
A question regarding Jim.
Yes.
Jim's a sciencey minded guy. Do you think Jim ever came across Mothman related materials in any of his sort of nerdy circles in the past? It was, of course, he would remember at least that there were tales of the Mothmen from before, and Sam would know this too. Maybe even Sam would know it better than Jim. But the Mothman was a cryptid that people thought they saw before the bombs fell, and to find that it's gone from pop culture to cult status, to hear what Sam said about one maybe having been here. I would say if either of you want to roll some kind of intelligence test here, that would be acceptable for pre-war stuff. Let me see here. Science and intelligence test could be really good, especially for someone like Jim. And maybe you could elaborate on a little bit of his background with this sort of story. Is there anything Sam might be interested in rolling to kind of gather more information about that situation? And if you don't feel like you know that or would know that, that's okay too.
I might be reaching, but I'm thinking, could I do like charisma plus intelligence to reach into like oral history?
How about a speech and intelligence test? You could do that.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I meant. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Go for it. Yeah. Well, you're a massive Fallout nerd yourself, so if you want to fill in some maybe thoughts of what Sam might know about this subject matter, I feel like this is a quick moment where both of you may be racking your brains as to what sort of lore you know about it. That, again, the Mothman cultist has always been sort of this abstract thing. You know, Raven was a part of it, but there are also all kinds of other raider groups in the hills, things like that. They're not loyal to a god-like deity per se, and those other people in the wasteland that are loyal to a god-like entity rarely have a physical manifestation of anything like that. So to have seen and to be witness to something out of the peripheries of your vision, that's haunting you, that's sticking with you, that now that you're here and with it, now that you're touching the dust, what might Sam know of the Mothman? And if you want me to fill in gaps for Sam, that's fine too.
I mean, I do know some of the stuff that they talked about pre-war. I know that before major incidents, he was spotted. And I know about the bridge. But I mean, there's definitely been stories throughout the wasteland of, cryptids coming. Essentially, I mean, I guess coming to life because maybe, there's more room for them to play. So I imagine I've heard stories of, maybe the chupacabras down by Mexico. Maybe around here, the Jersey Devil and things like that. So I don't see why the Mothman couldn't be real. We've had so many encounters with different things that I mean, the Wendigo, that was a legend. So I think it's entirely possible that there's greater things afoot than what we know.
Do you think Sam, in his journey through the wasteland, has ventured to listen to... He's sort of new to West Virginia, but has he come across any of the tales from the West Virginia Hills holotape series?
Maybe bits and pieces. As far as real life, I'm not super familiar.
What Sam would have gathered, it's only especially a 2-part series in their universe, so having caught the second part, a random holotape laying around in one of the sort of storefronts that you had cleared out in your journey, especially around the time before you met up with Jim, you remember hearing a story of kids by train tracks, a story of a girl miraculously pulled from in front of a moving train, and eerily to the situation you face in front of you, that her 2 young playmates, the boys in the group, were found dismembered at the top of a tree nearby. If this story is more than urban legend, or more than a Hollywood production, if there's any truth to that, then if what you saw grabbed her, it could happen. Is it the same? Jim, did you want to roll anything in this kind of reminiscence of the past? Would he know anything related to this kind of...
Yeah, I'll roll a science and intelligence.
Yeah, go for it. Ooh. Ooh. That's an interesting one. By the way, you could sit with this, but I think your lab coat also gives you a reroll of a science or I think it's intelligence tech. So you could reroll that 20 if you want. There's not huge consequences to it either way. You're not like your head's going to explode.
I think it's interesting. I'll let it sit.
Great. I like that. I think Jim struggling piecing this all together as real in this moment, that you are unbelieving. If Sam is leaning at all in the direction that this critter took her, you know, him kneeling down, touching Mothman dust, as you understand it, if he's at all feeling that way, you're feeling the opposite, that this creature from pre-war lore, it seems too mythical to be real. It feels as though a part of Jim's mind has maybe written off the Mothman dust as nothing more than the latest wasteland drug fad, something new, something being pushed by a cult, something that just makes sense, that as people, as life is coming back into Appalachia, so is a drug trade. And having yourself seen something fly up into the sky out of that, I think Jim's brain tries to rationalize that as nothing more than smoke, debris, maybe something exploded in the fire and shot out, and that's what you saw. For all you know, it could have been a hubcap blowing out into the sky, and you just caught it from the wrong angle. Just like how in real life, there were hubcaps used in early photography, or I should say 1950s photography, for faking UFO sightings. That it could just be that simple. Your logical brain says it could just be that simple. And that's where we're going to go back to Raven here. And hello to everyone joining in chat. Thank you so much. I heard there was a raid that came through. Thank you so much for being here. This is our Tales from Tomorrow TTRPG. We do it about Fallout. So if you're yourselves political lovers or lovers of gaming and Fallout in general, you're welcome to hang out, especially if you like things like D&D or other kind of actual play series like that. I got a table of comrades with me. I've got Dark Knight, I've got Sky, and I've got Mac Raven, and we're playing this game. It is based in the Fallout 76 timeline. You don't need to know the game, though, for sure. It's a mix of our real-world elements and in-game elements, as is the Fallout universe, which mirrors our real universe more and more every day. Raven. Let's not mute myself. Raven. You are in the dark. You are outside the wooden structure that seems all too familiar from things you were told in your youth, stories you've heard others say, some things extremely negative about it, that as you were brought up to believe, non-believers lived there worse than non-believers, dissenters, heretics, those that called themselves the enlightened, those that would follow the purple-eyed Mothman. This is considered their retreat, their haven, if that's what you're looking at. But you also know that is far from here. That you've even heard recently a journey to such a place would be arduous, that Brother Errol and others who trek the distance takes them time. You approach the building in stealth. And Raven, did we have you roll a check for that yet? I think you said you were going to sneak. Did you sneak? I don't think you snuck yet. Why don't you go ahead and roll your sneak check? Scary in chat says D&D and another board game aficionado here. Well, welcome aboard. We do this every Sunday night, and then we put it up on Twitch. I think I have a link pinned at the top of the chat, and that takes you to our Substack, where we have constant posts about it throughout the week. So going in this stealthy check here, Raven, you approach the building and begin following its sort of wraparound porch. You feel almost a pulsing, a humming, a buzzing It feels as though the place is alive with energy. You see that there are some windows ahead, some doors. What would you like to do with your stealth here, Raven? You are in the foggy darkness to which this building is a beacon of light. It's like the building itself illuminates things around it. But parts of itself still in shadow. Lyndon, you gotta go looking.
Is this can't be right that place is far away, I say to myself. It seem like home. I must look through the windows.
And you do. As you're walking down this path, now almost the side of the building, you could say, a stream flowing to your left. You walking down this sort of extended porch around the building, long, going. You pass a couple windows. You look inside. In some of the windows, you see well, or at least nicely lit quarters, bedrooms. No one inside. You pass along to the next. You see what looks like a healthy-sized kitchen. No one inside. You keep going around. And you find more bedrooms, different this time in style. Some of them look decorated with what you might call traditional Mothman attire that you're so familiar with. Others in an almost lavish antiquarian style of vases and rugs and fineries, books. You pass by another room that looks like a library. What you're getting, what you're gathering, is that in a sense, this building feels like its shape and its scale is what you see then and there, that it is growing or grows to accommodate you who are around it looking. You feel quickly as if you were to look and 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 look, you would never find the end of this building. But it doesn't feel empty. It doesn't feel unlived in. It doesn't feel unloved. If anything, what you see through the windows looks homey. It looks well-worn. It looks warm. It looks like a retreat from the shadows that lap at the doors and the windows. What would Raven like to do as she's going on this never-ending adventure?
I go for the door and open it. It seems no one homes. It feels like one of those dreams that never end.
What type of room does Raven go into? Out of all the choices I gave you and more, what type of room, what door would she stop at to go in? Bedrooms, library.
A living room.
A living room. You open the door. And you see a living room almost in Appalachian style, a parlor room. You find what looks like 1920s furniture, maybe. Strong woods that have been around for years. You find a style some may confuse with a Victorian, maybe looks a little Edwardian at times, looks like a little culmination of someone who's collected things old. Not 1950s vintage, but an older style. It's well lit. There are candles lighting the mantle. There are candles burning near a piano in the corner. And you see that there are a few doors in different directions, as if the house goes one to the next, like many older homes especially did, that this might be a room to pass through to other rooms.
This stuff seems really old, like more than 100 years.
Is there something you wish to seek out in this room or other rooms? You could get to looting if you wanted. You could look for a person. You could dig through. You could sneak through hallways. Again, this is in near infinite possibilities of what you might want to do. But to be in this empty, well-worn, well-loved room that still feels warm and inviting. What's Raven thinking? Do you want to roll any checks? You could do that too. I don't see any Raven typing. Dun, dun, dun. It seems the Mothman got her. The Mothman might have got Mac Raven. Hopefully her computer or internet didn't go kaplooey. We'll give her a moment here, everybody. In Twitch chat, Raven wrote, Jim's camp in game has a nudie bar. Use code HeyJim for 10% off the door price.
I don't know what that's about, but all right.
That's what she said, and that's what she's sticking to.
Sorry about.
That's okay. The question was what you're looking for. Are you looking for a person? Are you looking to dig through belongings? Are you looking to loot the place?
A book.
A book. Why don't you go ahead and roll that perception survival check of yours? This is a difficulty. Hold on. This is a difficulty 2. But the complication range is 17 or above. Whoa! So you get, she rolled 4 successes. 2 points back in your action point pool. What type of book is Raven looking for? Is she looking for something on the Mothman? Is she looking for something like a book of maps? Is she looking for history? What type of book? Prayers, psalms. There are some books in this room.
Maps and history.
I think what you would notice in this room is when it comes to maps, there is a framed map near the wall, small, but preserved history. Probably sort of an artist's rendition of a local area. And what you're immediately met with is a disconnect between this map and what you think you've seen. This map looks to be of the Boston area. Old. Not where you think you are now. Out of place. Maybe someone just collected it. That happens. People pass along old maps, and some people have maps of cities in their houses. That's not uncommon. Maybe these people are from that area. Wait, where are we now?
That is strange land that don't look right.
You go looking for books. And you find, especially in this space, tales of colonial America, stories of British occupation of the colonies. It's history, but it's not your history, not your personal history, and maybe not regional history to where you were. Raven wants to go looking for a weapon. You see over the fireplace near the candles, there is a framed, an older rifle up on the wall. It doesn't look exceptionally functional. Maybe it's not functional at all. If you would like to go further into the house to explore for weapons, you could do so. And I would ask that you roll another survival and perception. As useful as that roll was, I don't think you'd have any trouble deciding on direction here. You did roll 4 successes on that last one, but now that you have a new idea in mind.
That gun looked like something I could use.
If you want to do that, yeah. Let's see. What weapon do they have up on the wall? Can I sort this? Yes, I can. If I know how this works. And I'm not sure I do. Here we go. Filter. There we go. Small guns. You gather that this is a black powder blunderbuss, this is a rarity 3 weapon in the game. Let's see, how do I share this link with you in the chat? There you go. If you wish to take that off of the mantle, you perfectly well could. To Mac's comment in chat, by the way, for folks at home, if you want to save some money off the Bethesda shop, 20% off, use our code BTAILS at checkout. It's BTAILS 37 this week and BTAILS 38 next. That means for people listening at home, it's already BTAILS 38. If you're listening to this later, if you're live with us, it's 37. 20% off the Bethesda Gear Shop. Okay, Raven, did you grab it? Did you take the weapon? Or are you leaving it there?
I will take it.
Very good. You go up, unhitch it from the stand. What weapon? What sort of stuff does it use here? Black powder, something like that. It uses the 50 size ball here. I don't know what you call that. I don't know how to refer to that. I'm not a gun expert. I apologize. How about you roll your combat dice right now? So you're going to find some ammo with it nearby the chimney or the mantle area. 2 combat dice, please. 1 more after that. You have 6 ammo for it right now. That's 60 of the .50 ball. There. I think with that acquisition, you now have the choice ahead of you. Do you go further or do you leave? You wanted a weapon. You found a weapon. You wanted history. You found history, just not your history. It feels to you like your answers or your questions are being answered. It's almost as if the place doesn't necessarily grow to accommodate your question, but it's like as if it has the answers to your questions tucked within. And it feels like every room you explore might have more, but that stands to be tested.
I want to look some more, for I asked the wise one to guide me.
And as you stand in front of the roaring fire in this fireplace, and you look down the weapon in your hands, and you feel a pool. There's 3 doors to your left, and the one that's centermost of all of them catches your attention the most. And out of instinct, you walk towards it, towards it. Till you reach out with your hand, weapon in tow, as you grab the handle, turn it, and push open the door. The room is of a different style, less old Edwardian, more wild and untamed. It is more of the Mothman cultist aesthetic that you're familiar with, what you grew up with. You see the twisting vines along the walls. You see
Home.
a fire across the room. You see what looks like a throne made with the shapings of a moth behind it. And on it, you see a man sitting, partially in shadow.
Master.
Is that what you say out loud?
Yes.
There are no masters here, child. For I would know most, and that I helped set up this place. I should introduce myself, that I am Brother Charles the Wise, the Forewarned. You are one of the children of those who have gone astray from his light. This place you have found yourself wandered to, this is the Lantern, home of those who have found a way away from their dimness, away from their distortions and perversions. I sense in you that you do not carry their stain, nor their stupidity. Welcome to a respite, a bit of safety in the dark, a light to guide your way. Lantern welcomes you.
Charles and brother sent me. I can't remember his name.
Well, that is unfortunate. If you've been lost in the wood, it would be good to know who your allies are. And that helps you learn who your enemies are as well. It's also unfortunate, as When I am not here, I will not be able to commune with you with such efficiency. So, outside of this place, we will not speak. Why are you here today, child? Why are you at our doorstep? What brings you to our humble abode, so deep in the woods?
I got attacked by red-eye Mothman and I woke up here.
Well, the unfortunate truth is that you are not really here. Only your mind is here, just as my mind resides here. So far from home.
My friend Sam was taken by the dims when there was Fry.
And is it your goal to return to what may be left to your friends out there? You've seen them. They're ready. They're ready to meet us.
Yes, if they are dead, I must bury them.
The dim ones will be ready for us.
Then I will kill the dims one.
Time will tell if that's true. Time will tell if that's true. Some of our
For taking my frains.
congregation have headed out to Point Pleasant. But some have already been snuffed out. In fact, I smell their death on you. You don't happen to know where a certain cargo shipment was headed when they stole something precious from us.
Yes, I have dust we are taking to Point Pleasant.
Well then, not all hope is lost. I knew you would come through for us. Just as he promised. Is there any chance you've spoken with a brother Errol of ours? A rather wise-tongued brother. He hails from here.
Oh yes, him, that one I speak to.
Well then. What are you doing here, child? Why are you here? You have what you need. You have your connections. Why are you here with me so far away from home?
I can't find my way.
He looks at you. He ponders you. And he says, well, all you have to do is look within. And he raises up his hand, and you feel like you fly backward, and you hit up against what feels like a metal wall behind you, to your left, to your right. You raise your hands. One of your hands obstructed by the blunderbuss. And if you'd like, you could try hitting at these metal walls as best you can. Or you could try something else. Anything else.
Jim, Sam, you there?
Why don't you go ahead and roll a strength and athletics
Chop.
check? You can also maybe roll a speech and charisma check if you're interested in that too. Ooh. With 2 successes on your strength or your speech and charisma, you reach your one hand near your vocabulator and spin a dial next to a button, and you blast that message so loud.
I need help, please be alive.
You blast that message so loud, Raven, you take 3 points of damage. And Jim and Sam, as you're thinking, as you're concluding your ideas, you're looking down at the dust, as you're considering what path to go on next, you hear from within the rubble of the barn next to you, you hear what sounds like Raven's vocabulated voice.
Jim, did you hear that?
What? It can't be.
Let's go.
Jim and Sam, help.
As you two get closer to the debris, not even too far into the barn, Chop's attention gathered by it as well. He begins to pull back boards, debris, parts of the fallen second floor on top of it. Metal stairs are collapsed nearby. And with your digging, you come across a refrigerator turned downwards, fallen downwards. And as you get to it, and as Chop pushes things aside and rolls the refrigerator over to its side, the door squeaks forward and a hand comes out. Raven, you are now hit with afternoon sunlight. As you are no longer in the dark, but
Oh,
in the
my eyes.
smoldering ruins of a barn set ablaze by your people. Yeah, that gif is literally Knack in the lead-lined refrigerator. That's literally her.
How did I get there?
It's all on you guys.
Oh,
I reach my hand out to
Is that a fridge?
Raven's hand, and I pull her out and give her a quick analysis, make sure everything is functioning, and that that she's not bleeding from anywhere or anything, and that she's all good. You doing all right, Raven?
Sam, how did I survive that?
I have no idea. What did you see?
The Latin.
Lantern.
Home of the wise one.
Is there a physical location?
Maybe. It seemed like dream.
You have to tell us all about it. It looks like night is going to be getting here relatively soon.
I
so-
got this cool gun.
What the hell? Where'd you pull that out of? Looks like you pulled it out of the
The dream.
1800s. This is something else.
well, I am pretty knowledgeable, and that looks to be a British era blunderbuss from the 1760s.
God. You pulled
How
this out
it-
of the dream?
How it got there, I don't know.
Wow, that's old.
Yes, but I mean, I was in the house looking around and didn't see no blunderbuss anywhere hanging about. So, however you got that, I mean, I can't explain it.
It old as Sam.
It looks like I'm giving you the clean bill of health with that type of joking. So you seem totally fine.
I think so, you're not dead.
No, thankfully we both made it. And we're glad to see that you're in one piece as well.
Is that Chop?
Yeah. Hey, Chop, say hi. She's all good. She's all right.
Good that human, small raven is good. Do not sleep in burning barn, even if in refrigerator. Not good.
Yeah, I could died in there.
Don't do it again. Then he rips the door off of the refrigerator in typical Chop style. He puts like one foot on the interior of it and just tears the door off. Throws it. Like a frisbee goes up into the sky. Now you cannot make mistake again. Chop, chop. Chop puny refrigerator door.
Chop silly, I like him.
And Chop, with that, looks down, side-eyes you, and gives you a pat on the head that feels like being hit with a heavy mattress. Enough to momentarily disorient you. But to know it wasn't done with malice. As a kid, you ever been hit with one of those couch cushions that felt
Thanks,
a lot heavier?
Chops.
Whack. Yeah.
Oh, Sam, we got to get out of here.
I'm thinking the same thing. I say we head back to the cabins. See
They're
how
big
Reuben and
array
them-
of Mothmen really close by.
Oh no. We need to get back to the cabins. See how Reuben and them are doing. You know, if they've got... If they need somewhere to go, we might be able to send them to Hope.
We should take them with us.
You think so on this perilous journey?
Better than staying here.
Yeah. Let's talk to them. See what's going on. If they want to come with us, they can. But if not, we can give them directions to Hope. And hopefully they can make their way back there.
Let them choose.
I agree. Y'all ready to head out? Y'all want to loot anything before we leave?
I'd like to check around and see what was left behind, if there is anything.
I do think there's an entire house still there to be looted here. Let's see if I can find my little loot screen thing. Is that the one? Let's see. Simplified loot roller. As you go into the other untouched house, the one that you guys haven't been into, it is rather large for being at this farm homestead. On the first floor, you find, actually near the kitchen area, a little scrawled note. And it just says, "Remember, you're not alone out here. There's always someone nearby." And the note sits next to a container of dirty water, a diluted stim pack. You find a casual hat upturned, and in it, a pack of berry mentats and some gumdrops. You see, when you move those aside, 2, maybe more, 25 millimeter grenades. And sitting almost ready to fall off the countertop, a Salisbury steak. I'll put that list into chat for folks here. But a nice little note, and this makes sense to some of you, especially those who had heard from, it would probably be Sam and Jim who would know most of all from Reuben, well, I should say more so from Ted and Marlene, that this farm has become a little tiny bit of a way station for people coming by. You've heard that sometimes people work the fields here sort of seasonally, that it's not really one person's house so much as it's whoever's going to plop down here and keep up with it for a minute. And you can even see that's almost become a little bit of a culture of the place, that there's supplies left for the taking. Hi, cute fluffy dog that's looking at me. How are you? He's like, wrap it up, Dad. It's not time. It's not time. Soon. With those supplies being found, would you like to go through any other things around the farm? I think this is one of those properties that's big enough that if you wanted to spend extended amounts of time here, you could probably find extended amounts of supplies. That search will cost you about 30 minutes to do, to look through the house to find those things. If you wanted to stay here longer and dig through more things, again, it's in one of those mixed states of like some aspects of it are picked clean and there's rooms where there's just nothing of interest. Then there's other little nooks and crannies where someone has clearly made a tiny little stash of supplies for probably themselves, their own, like what they brought through and left. There's also, again, enough farm supplies outside that if you were like looking for components to things, you might be able to salvage or scrap some of that stuff. Sort of depends what all you guys want to do, how deep you want to go with that. Oh, I'll also say there's about, if someone wants them, there's 17 caps worth of pre-war money sitting around. So if someone wants to add 17 caps to their inventory, just shout out who's snagging that.
Down to look around a little bit more if y'all want to.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Sure. Out in the remaining...
I will take the caps.
Raven's taking the caps.
Okay.
Let's see. Out in the remaining barn. Well, maybe this isn't even the barn. Let me see here. There are some arrows here. 4 arrows that are of the flaming variety. So fire arrows. And I might need you guys to take this down because this list is not easily copy and pastable. So 4 flaming arrows. Is there anywhere the rest of you... I have some other items here. There are areas just for thematics that you guys are going for and looking through. Because I have a list of possible items, but it sort of depends on what you guys are doing, scavenging and the rest. Why don't we go person by person? I'll start with Sam, and you can kind of tell me where you're poking around. Then Jim, you can tell me next. Sam, what area are you investigating here?
I was going to look in... Are the buildings still on fire?
No, both of them have smoldered out. There's very little remaining of each of them. There's still the one other house that you're in now, and then there's the one other barn.
Okay, I'll check out the barn.
The barn has a pair of hides in it, and I don't know what exactly piece of like attire that entails. That is an outfit, I think. Typically made from the rough hides of Brahmin, rad, stag, or other large animals, these simple clothes provide a little protection and comfort, but they're no substitute for properly made clothing or armor. Oh, maybe these need to be rolled upon to see which piece of hides this would be. Let's see. You find a right leg of hide armor out there, as well as a carton of Dandy Boy apples sitting there, and a purified water next to it. Jim, what areas are you going into to explore?
I was gonna go. Well, first I wanted to go into the house that's still standing
Uh-huh.
and look into there, but I also wanted to dig around in the rubble.
Okay. You guys have gathered most of those supplies from that house that you're in. I think as you go upstairs in it, you see in one of the wardrobes some formal clothing. And in that wardrobe, also 6 bobby pins. There is also in that room a radio. You may take that too. And then outside in the rubble, most things are destroyed pretty severely. But one thing you do stumble across is a sort of one of those fire safe style chests. And it has a first aid kit in it, that being a pretty nice find in the wasteland. And 1 Nuka cherry inside, stashed away for an emergency. And along with it, Gem, 89. Actually, this is 89 junk. I don't know how that fits into your inventory, if that's the correct number to give you. I don't remember if we had to like roll to see if it's common or uncommon or any of that. I don't know if I like the way it gave that number. I have no idea. But we're going to say you do get junk out of this. We can kind of determine that later on, what quality of junk. It's in a destroyed barn area. It's probably going to be mostly common, but I would definitely throw in a couple bits of uncommon stuff that may have survived from like the tractor and things like that didn't succumb to the blaze. Maybe things were parked half out of it. Let's see. Also worth noting that out there is a torch as well. And there is a sledgehammer along with it. That brings us to the end of the loot that I have from this rather large property. And I would say about probably another hour's gone by in the search. Now you are getting to more like late afternoon. Sun's starting to descend a little in the sky. You can hear Chop outside still kind of wandering the property, himself kind of tearing at components and looking at what's around. Chop's bored. Nothing good here. Farmer junk. No robots.
Yeah, it's getting to be dusk here soon. I do think maybe we should get a move on.
Yes, Chop, leave before it gets dark. Humans can come or stay.
With you, Chop.
Okay, gang, what y'all doing here? You got all the loot I have to give you, unless you're going to go into something further. You guys all heading out now?
Yeah, I think so.
Raven's typing.
We should go. Sam Al sounded worried about something about leaving in 48 hours.
All right. Let's get back to the cabin. Rest there. Talk to them. And we can head out in the morning.
With that being said, a question to all the players here. Would you like to put a pin in it here? Or do you want to go back to camp and fuss with the settlers there in tonight's session? So two options. You can either try and complete that all tonight, or you can go and kind of approach it bright-eyed and fresh-eyed next week. Following week, pardon me. It's completely up to you guys how you want to handle that.
I think I'm ready to pack it up.
Yeah.
We can come back, like you said, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed in 2 weeks.
I think that's a great plan.
Yep.
You all depart into the sunset as you begin heading away from the Aaron Holt homestead down the now familiar path to some of you towards the Grove family cabins. This time, as you approach, you notice at a distance there is no friendly smoke coming from a campfire there. People have realized it's become a dangerous time once again in Appalachian, your small corner of the universe as you know it. There's a certain chill. Maybe it's just the coming fall weather. Or maybe it's something much darker. But that will have to wait for another week. To everybody watching at home, we thank you for coming out to our live stream of Tales from Tomorrow Under the Mothman's Embrace. We will not be back next week, July 20th. We will be taking a week off then and regrouping, then coming back the following. We have a lot of content that happens, though, throughout the week. This upcoming, we will have our case review, our critical after show evaluation that we do where we decompress on these episodes. That will come out to our paid members. It's going up on Coffee on Mondays, he says shakily. But then it goes up to our Substack for paid members there on Thursdays. So you can... I might get those two things on sync in one day, who knows. But for right now, you get the earliest access on Coffee, ko-fi.com/overseer Kyle. We give you another 10 to 30 minutes worth of bullshitting and discussing these ideas. Then what else will happen? We've got 2 Vault broadcasts that are getting recorded this week. I'm not sure if they will air this week. So that's going to have a little bit of a shaky schedule for this upcoming. As I say, things should be back on track for August, but got a lot of moving parts here. The office literally moving all the time, all kinds of things. So I've made sure to give myself a little bit of space. But this episode will go up recorded live. Sorry, it'll go up on YouTube on Wednesday, not so live, but our syndicated version. And then there should be a new Overseer log. I really want to start getting those out on Saturdays again, so stay tuned. But in the meantime, myself, Dark Knight, and Mac Raven will be streaming on Twitch. So you can come over to twitch.tv/Overseer Kyle. We will be giving you some good Fallout stuff throughout the week, a fun place to BS with one another, and you're welcome to ask questions about this. Speaking of questions, if anyone wants to submit any voice messages to it, questions, comments, or otherwise, we have a voice app that lets you do so, and that can be found in the description below, or for all these links, overseerkyle.com. If you go into each show, it has the kind of call-in link to it within it. On top of that, I would just say you can save 20% off the Bethesda shop with the code BTales37 and BTales38. Those codes last for about a week, so they expire. They only have 10 uses. Get them while they're hot and fresh. Save yourself that money. And give us a little kickback. Each purchase helps. And if you want to get yourself a copy of the TTRPG, we have the Evergreen code, the one that does not expire. Simply BTales, no number. And that is for the Modifius shop. So if you go over to their website, you can grab minis, copies of the game. This is going to be hot stuff this year, you guys. There's going to be new updates to the TTRPG this November, December, probably right in time for holiday season, right in time to link up with the TV show that's coming out. So it is a good year to be getting into Fallout stuff. And this story has been an absolute blast. I'm just really digging it. And it's getting a lot more expansive as we get down into the somewhat known world of the Fallout 76 map. There's a lot to explore, a lot to see. So a massive thank you to all of my players here at the table, to Sky, to Dark Knight, to Mac Raven. I'll remind that you can catch us over on the Discord server. Again, all those links below. A lot of us are active on social media here and there, across Instagram and TikTok and Twitch and beyond. So be sure to drop a follow if you get the chance. And really, if you're listening to this home in the YouTube form or podcast form, give us any kind of feedback from those buttons. If you can thumbs it up, do that. If you can drop a comment, do that. If you can give it a 5-star rating and something like that, go do that. That'll all mean a lot to us. And I look forward as you join us for this adventure going into the year of the Mothman. See where the world takes us in 2025. To everyone at home watching us on Twitch, I bid you adieu, a good night, and the promise that we'll see you on Twitch tomorrow. So be safe out there, everyone. Be safe in that wild wasteland. Don't forget to close the vault door behind you. Bye-bye.